Hi, everyone, and welcome. I'm Ari Armas, and today I'm excited to bring you a conversation that highlights two essential forces behind any strong brand: cross functional collaboration and strategic execution. We often talk about marketing in terms of creativity and storytelling, but real brand impact happens when departments align, when logistics meet visions, and when execution supports experience. Today, it's joining me, Vivian Straka, a dynamic leader in luxury industry with a unique background across logistics, sales, and trade marketing. Vivian's journey is proof that brand building is a team sport and that success often comes from understanding how the entire business operates, not just what the customer sees. We will explore the role of trade marketing, how to think more strategically across departments, and why marketers need to understand the full business landscape to truly lead. Vivian, I'm so happy you're here. Thank you for coming today.
Oh, thank you for having me, Ari. It's a pleasure for me to have this conversation with you because it's very important, definitely topic to address with all the persons that are working in different departments.
Yes, thank you, Vivian. And so let's dive in. I wanted to ask you, you have navigated roles across logistics, sales administration, and now trade marketing. From your perspective, how does aligning these functions impact the consistency and strength of a brand in the market?
Well, I think it's very important having this experience like in logistics and sales, and then now in the marketing side, because the main goal is to have a seamless structure for the customer of internal departments. So it is important for us have like different knowledge about different topics besides only marketing. Having navigating logistics, for instance, I do have to execute some projects that have to work hand in hand with the operations and logistics departments. And if I don't have that knowledge of like how important is to address the demanding and planning of the goods for the visual merchandising, or for example, for an open boutique, it will not be effective cost, or it will like be a negative impact to the brand. So I think it's how it's very strong alignment to be able to drive remarkable results. It's to align different aspects of the business for sure.
I agree with you. I think that's a very important point that sometimes marketers don't see eye to eye. So that's why I'm happy to have you here and to tell us in your experience what are some of the most common disconnects between logistics, sales, and marketing. How can marketers, or what do you recommend that marketers can help bridge those disconnections?
I do find there's a lot of like disconnection between these three important. I mean, every department is important, but like, for instance, to give you an example, like the product allocation conflicts. I'm having recently some issues with this. On my side, I have to develop a project that it comes like a new campaign. So it's a new product campaign that needs to have all the wall paintings in all boutiques across the United States. And then if me as a marketer doesn't don't align or communicate the importance of the campaign, the timeline with my colleagues from logistics and sales, I will have a big disconnect because, for instance, if I don't have the product allocation to the right points of sales, I cannot develop these wall paintings if the product is not allocated. So it is very, very, very crucial that we as marketers have like a transparency, communication, and work hand in hand with the different departments and remove that barrier, because it can create tension between different departments, besides like budget wise with finance, but most likely the timeline of the product allocation and logistically, if it's going to be a delay, and then we kind of, with this communication, then we can have like a better seamless campaigns. So once like I communicate the timeline for this campaign is, let's say it's for the summer time, because we're launching a special product, then I need to have like an internal platform, constant meetings, or like making sure that all departments are aligned and the product is going to be on the boutique at the same time I'm delivering these new images for the boutiques, for example. So I think as marketers, it would be very important to maintain that visibility of the timeline of campaigns, and to make sure that every department communicates and having a realistic timeline, instead of like having tension and barriers, for sure.
I agree with you. I think it's very important, and also thinking about the timelines and trying to make a campaign smooth, as smoothly as possible for everybody, and understanding what are the barriers per department that can affect the accomplish of that. I'm thinking, and based on in your experience, the importance of understanding the supply chain side of it, of the business, right? Why do you believe is this essentially in luxury industry specifically?
Well, I really like your question, because I personally, I started my career path with marketing. And once I was involved with inventory, purchasing, and making sure like the stock levels are aligned with the sales, I see the need in myself on joining and pursuing a second career. And that's when I joined supply chain management to complement both disciplines, because again, I see it goes hand to hand on the marketing side of the business that I am, that my career being developed, that will be like the retail marketing. And I think like it's been crucial, honestly, for my career path, because all the projects that I'm involved requires I have a solid understanding of purchasing, forecasting, my inventories level for gifting, having the logistic planning to make sure that all the warehouse are efficiently use the resources and we are not our budget, and making sure that the space that we're having all the aligns with the campaigns when we have an activation, and support the other teams, the CRM team, for example, and making sure that we have all the gifting, the POSM materials. So definitely, I think it's crucial to have that understanding of the supply chain and the business, especially in the business of the luxury goods, because we constantly are opening boutiques, opening new shopping shops, and making sure that we are packed and we can give all the tools that are required for a luxury experience at our retail team. And that's how I see that it goes hand to hand for sure. And it's very important, the supply chain management, and just to have a seamless like projects also, and the timeline of the campaigns, or any kind of activations that we have to develop for sure for the luxury goods.
And I think this integration in knowledge is what makes you the great professional that you are right now, and you can notice in the success of your work. And I appreciate it. And I would like to take the opportunity to also dive in the strategic part of Vivian, right? Having all this cross-functional thinking. When you are making strategic decisions now in trade marketing, you're right now focusing on trade marketing. What types of frameworks or methods help you evaluate options or prioritize effectively?
Well, I think it starts with ROI. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example. So if I'm developing some local production for giftings for that I work with my colleagues from the CRM, and when we have like a micro activation or big events at boutique level, for instance, I want to make sure that all the activities that I have for my trade marketing items and for local productions and displays are comparing to the cost and the efficient, what I'm really my return of investment is. So with that being said, also this helped me to understand the level of the behavior of the consumer. And I developed this gifting based on the return of the investment, because if I have a VIC very active customer that have a spending cost, it's been over $1 million for, let's say, and for example, for the last past years, I want to make sure that I'm developing the right gifting that is in the same level as the customer that is investing in the brand. So this part I think is crucial at the moment that I'm making my strategic decisions for my gifting and my displays, for sure. And this aligns also with the customer journey mapping. So involves, for instance, let's say for the visual merchandising, how we accommodate all or and display all the washes and making sure that align and identify all the opportunities and influence the purchasing decisions once the customer is at the boutique level, let's say an event, or when we having a tower display or outside the boutique or even inside the boutique. I think it's very important as well, because you navigate and making sure that you locate all the products to attract the desire of the customer all the way to closing a sale. And obviously, this is a tool that I can provide as a trade marketer to my colleagues in the retail floor, because if I'm placing the wrong items in a different location or it's not appealing for the customer, it will not be helpful for them to close a sale. And going back to the example, like right now I'm having this big project for the new campaign that we are celebrating this year. And one of the big feedbacks that we work together is that having a nice visual of a wall painting close to the desk where you sit the customer to close the sale, and you have a bit of the storytelling. Let's say this wall painting includes a lot of like the spare parts. It's definitely a point of talking with for our team members to close a sale. So
Right.
this is the beauty of how trade marketing help to keep the branding. And besides only like how you display the watches, it's also what it involves the entire environment of the brand, for sure, and ensure the message that we want to transmit.
Absolutely. I think it's fascinating what everything that you're saying, how important it is to strategically place your decisions in the store, and how trade marketing can influence, as you said, how accompany the client throughout the customer journey to the point that it can push that final step to close the sale, right? And sometimes we don't realize this because we center our attention in other smaller things, and we think maybe we focus our attention in only one task and in one department, and it's important to see the entire picture and understand all those touch points in the customer journey that can really affect or make the customer take the decision to purchase or not. I think
For sure.
it's wonderful. Thank you for sharing all those ideas and how you build your strategies. And in that idea, what will you tell someone entering in trade marketing who might overlook this strategic importance in the brand success?
Well, as a career advice for someone that is entering in the trade marketing, I think it's super important to have a mindset, a learning mindset. Sometimes we think that only is the in-store promotions or how is the visual merchandising plays, but that critical thinking of like how you can have like keep the brand strategy and align with the sales floor team will help like sales performance. I think it's very important to have like that mindset. And also for me, it's been very crucial to go to a boutique, like even though that I'm as a trade marketing manager, back office, for me, it's important to see what is the consumer needs. So once they having all the micro activations and make sure that I'm present and see it and giving me ideas like what is the customer preferences. For instance, it will help me to develop giftings according to also what other brands are doing. Don't be afraid to also see other competitors. And don't see it as oh, I'm not gonna be stealing an idea. No, it's just like seeing what other people are doing, and it can bring you like a brilliant idea and to your campaign and how you can improve what you're doing right now. I think also finding mentors and the building a network. For me, it's being in the luxury goods. I'm working for a company that has different brands. I've been part of like networking with another system of song and make sure that how we can even collaborate more than seeing, oh yeah, they do something different. But for instance, they are working in the spirit, but how I can please my customers and see and attract that besides the wash experience, and how we can do tequila tasting, or sometimes you don't have to go that far, even across multifunction with our own company. In this sense, it could be a watchmaker experience in a boutique level, and I see how our customers realize how a watch is built, because it's a unique experience that it cannot be found in maybe other brands are not doing it, or it will require a higher cost, like traveling to, let's say, Switzerland to understand. But having like a micro activations with our own watchmakers and have the spare part of the watch and to see what is inside the watch that we are selling, I think it's a unique experience that definitely make you explore a different mindset, that how our role as trade marketers, as trade marketing, it's more than just the visual merchandising or the in-store promotions. Like having that open mindset, I think it helps you to brainstorm for sure to how you can improve and what you can do in the right place at the right time and present it in the right way. So I think it definitely that's the beauty of trade marketing, and to keep the brand awareness and treat yourself as an ambassador, the brand that you're working for sure. I think that would be a great advice.
Thank you, Vivian. That's a wonderful advice. I appreciate it. I think it's very much also in line with your journey, because you also mentioned before that you started in marketing, then you you dive into supply chain, and now you're pursuing an executive MBA. So all this integral thinking that you are adding to your knowledge, and how do you personally approach learning a new skill or concept, especially when the learning curve is so steep?
I think with the brand experience, I think that the concept have changed so much. For the past 5 years, we have the pandemic, for example, and I will use this as a challenge that we all face globally. And I was already working for Ublo, and I see how the mindset have shifted, um, not only for us as that we're living in the United States. For instance, we were very focused on the e-commerce platform before, but seeing globally and this MBA, executive MBA, see that perspective, how globally we have changed. Other markets, for example, back in five years ago, Europe was not that centralized on e-commerce, and I see it as an opportunity, because when the pandemic hit, our boutiques were closed. The only way that we were able to address and connect with our customers, it was through the platform. So
Right.
changing that mindset of what we were used to before the pandemic at a
Absolutely.
boutique level, and how luxury goods was delivered, and how we can transform all that experience to shape it to what is involved now with the current situation, and having the same brand experience but in another platform, which is e-commerce. I think it was a very critical moment for and challenging with all the departments. So I think it was definitely making sure that we have allocation, that we also activate how we can activate our customers through platforms, how we can do meetings, Zoom meeting. We used to do Zoom meetings to show washes, and how all the departments were aligned, and making sure that how this dramatic shift, and how we can like embrace the challenge that we were facing, and how having that trade marketing that now is not only depending on the visual merchandising on a boutique level, it's now a digital level. So I think it was very meaningful, and how we personalize these connections with customer, because definitely they were located in different part of the or United States. A lot of people like move to another countries, but how we can deliver our products and making sure the same luxury experience with the challenge that we were embracing.
Absolutely, absolutely, you are right. I think it's very important to have conscience on that, on how the world has changed based on major situations like the pandemic, and how that had impact not only the way the customers behave and the customer make their decisions at the moment of choosing a brand, but also the way how they have access to it. And so that it's crucial for every marketer to understand, to appreciate that, and to take that into account whenever they are developing a strategy. Vivian, it has been a pleasure for me to have you today. I'm very grateful for your time, for your advices. Thank you for sharing with us your journey and your experience. And I just wish you the best on your executive MBA. I know you're about to start very soon, and I think it will be a fantastic journey for you. Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you for having me. I think it's my pleasure, because as we mentioned before, and we both agree, how we need to demolish that barrier that sometimes us as marketers kind of build with other departments, with finance, with operations, and at the end of the day, we all need each other. And to succeed, to make sure that the brand awareness is the right message that we want to express and to deliver to our customers. So I hope this message definitely change a lot of mindsets, or open that mindset to be part of the solution, and not looking more like pointing fingers in other departments. And I think it's I take it as part of my responsibility. Like, okay, since I had the knowledge, or I've been in other departments, I know how it is challenging sometimes, the shipping or the operation or the product allocation, or even with finance and hand, and making sure that everything is onto every cent. So definitely it's having that mindset. I think it would be a big change for your own good, for people's marketers' own good, to succeed in the career path for sure. So thank you so much for sharing with me and having this time. It was my pleasure, and thank you
Thank you.
so much for your good wishes.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, Vivian.
Thank you.
Bye.